It's only teenage wasteland.
I think of a society that is bad. Like, except it's like the entire society, not just like aspects of the society like nowadays, but like the entire like government, everything's corrupt and sucky.
Okay.
I think of very destroyed post-apocalyptic scenarios, mostly wastelands, basically like Fallout New Vegas.
So to me, the word dystopian describes a society where there is a lot of inequality, right? You have a privileged group and a group that's not privileged.
When I hear dystopia, I think of a world where everything is kind of put together before you even get there. And it's what would be seen from the outside like a perfect world, but deep down is after all of this, like a chaotic event that ruined a bunch of things.
Are you coming to the
So in Mockingjay, it's mostly just Katniss realizing that she has to lead the rebellion or it's not going to happen, and that what's going on in the government is wrong and should be stopped.
strange things that happen here?
Reluctant beforehand to lead the rebellion because she doesn't want to. She wants everyone to just forget about what happened with her, and no one's really going to do that. But so when she goes to District 12, she sees that the people she knew and the places she knew are gone, and that everything had happened there, and that pretty much everyone will eventually forget about it, and it'll just be a legend like 13 was. And it sparks in her that she wants to lead the rebellion now. She wants to turn the government. She wants to overthrow the government.
She sees it and she's like, "Oh my God, I need revenge," because that was her hometown, and like those are where all her memories are from. So seeing it destroyed shows that like the Capitol really didn't care about it. So she wants to like do stuff against the Capitol.
Okay.
Seeing her own living space destroyed and finding like all of the residents of her area, some of which who she knew dead, really set it in for her that the Capitol is trying to destroy the lives of innocent people, and it really kind of hits home that they're destroying everything, which is already essentially a mess.
Are you coming?
Favorite character in the Hunger Games is Finnick. I like Finnick just because he's a really obscure character, and he has quite an interesting backstory with everything that happened with Annie and what the Capitol has done to him since he won the games.
Is Katniss Everdeen because she is the master of sass.
My favorite would be Beatty because he's really into the science-y aspect of everything, and then even in 13 when he's making weapons for them, he's making them better by using the science that he has and the knowledge that he knows, because not everyone knows those things.
Hey Mitch, he's too real. I love him.
In the hanging tree. Are you
Was it worth it? In my mind, yes, and would I have done the same thing? I would have, because he was pretty much the driving factor. Like, if she kept telling them that if they couldn't save him, she was out, she wasn't going to keep going. And if you think about it, what happens before is that they pretty much sink the ship they're working on to kill the captain when they blow up the hydropower plant. Like, what they're trying to do is create a giant diversion, which they do, and all of those people knew going in there that they would probably die, and they sacrificed their lives to keep the rebellion going. They wanted it to keep going. So yeah, I would have done the same thing.
It was worth it because it's the whole like leave no one behind sort of thing, and Pete is awesome. He's cool. And like he has a good heart. Sure, he's been brainwashed by the Capitol, but they don't know that. But like he was totally worth it. I would definitely do it. Plus, he's hot and bakes.
Honestly, for the story, I think it was worth the risk. But in the same position, would I do it? No, because you're destroying and losing a lot of people to try and save one. So it's pretty much lose 5 people to save one, or lose 1 and save 5 people. I wouldn't go back for him. Really wish they would have explained the little details a little bit more.
I've seen Hunger Games, and what I like about
about it is the message that it would give to little children about love life and sacrifice, etc., etc.
I liked the movie a lot just because I really liked the series. So I liked the movie, and it stayed pretty true to detail. Like, there wasn't as much backstory as there could have been for certain things. Like with Finnick and everything, there wasn't as much backstory as could have been going on, but there was enough to make sense with the story. And I did like the books better though, because, well, especially with like the hanging tree, it was a song of the original revolution that her father taught her, but she never says that in the movie. So if you didn't read the books, you don't know where that came from.
We don't need no education.
In Ender's Game, basically there was a bugger invasion which ended up destroying a lot of stuff. So they're looking for a kid that can fight them off again. And you're not supposed to have a third child, and Ender is essentially a third. He was the child that was right in the middle, and he's the person that ends up being tricked into fighting and destroying entire worlds that he didn't want to do.
We don't need no
I do not think that Ender is a bully in the novel. Yes, he has a lot of the tendencies from his older brother Peter, but yet he also has a lot of the tendencies that Valentine has. So it kind of balances out in every aspect, from breaking the kid's arm on his way to the school to killing the kid in the shower. He was pretty much acting in self-defense because he didn't instigate what happened.
no dark sarcasm.
How else is there to react other than angry and disappointed and betrayed?
We don't need no.
I refuse to see the movie because in the beginning of the book, Ender is 8 years old. The actor that they picked to play Ender when filming started was almost 14.
You have to do it running, but you do everything that they ask you.
It's about this kid, and he's like, there is no color in everything, but what is color? I don't know what color is. And he gets assigned to be like the receiver of memories from the giver person, and the giver like touches his forehead or hand or something, and he's like, here are memories, this is color. And the kid's like, oh my gosh. And meanwhile, there's this little baby, but that is going to be like, it's not like escorted out, but basically like he's gonna be killed. They're gonna whack him. And Jonas, like, the more he knows, like, what the past is like, and, like, oh my gosh, colors and people and emotion and music, the more he's like, this place sucks, and people kind of suck. Like, sure, everyone's happy, but, like, it sucks. We don't really get to do anything. And so he takes the baby, and he runs on his bicycle, and then there's another book that...
Don't mind seeing yourself.
I think that I would probably wind up being assigned, like, a teacher, because there's a lot that can be learned and a lot to learn, and you learn those things before you teach everyone else, and it kind of is a never-ending cycle.
Mother, let's be real.
Sort of the job that Jonas's dad has, where he works in the medical side of things.
Don't mind seeing yourself.
When the giver showed him the video of his dad releasing the lighter of the two twins.
I think that it like really clicked for him when he realized that elsewhere there was no elsewhere. There was the end of the community, but they didn't send them somewhere to be happy. They killed them off.
Don't mind seeing yourself.
I liked the book a lot better because they talk about like the reason they start, well, in the book it's taking the pill, and in the movie it's with the injection, and they talk about like the reason behind that is they don't want anyone to feel. There's no feeling, they don't want you to see color, they don't want you to have what it was like before.
He was not against Jonas in the way that he was in The Giver movie. What they did is they basically changed his job to add drama.
Don't mind seeing yourself in a
Well, I think The Giver like really relates to Mockingjay and the whole series, because after something clicks, and it's different in both books, they realize that what the government's doing is completely wrong and shouldn't be done.
It's like the whole, like, that's like being told, like, this is perfect and this is how it should be. And the biggest thing is, like, is the whole we live like this now because back then they had all the freedoms, but they destroyed themselves. So this is why we do this, so that we don't destroy ourselves.
So it ties into Hunger Games in the structure and no choices, and it ties into Ender's Game on betrayal and being and mistrust and that sort of way. One's more emotional, one's more structural.
The Chemical Gardens trilogy, except that's more of a you have a certain age, you hit a certain age, and then you die at the certain age. Like everyone dies at that age, but there is a cure for it, and it was weird because it's like the class system to the extreme because of it.
I read 1984, which was really good actually.
And I have a lot of respect for the old dystopian writers, you know, Wells, Orwell, but the modern stuff, it seems to be written for a more commercial audience. I'm not really a big fan.
The uglies. It's the uglies, the pretties, the specials, the extras. I recommend reading the entire Ugly series. It's a long series, but it's a very good series.
I read The Hunger Games and The Giver, and I loved them, and some of their great books to read. I'd recommend them for everyone else I know, and gaze off and walk out.
PETA is utterly a useless character.
No,
People
he is not! We're recording. Now we're just chatting.
But so she's all like PETA while she's also like Gail, and
Jonah, I say Amalon, I'm sorry. I think of like a world where what did I do?
even subtly, not.
Even if it's coin, because she's a boss.
But he has a lot of friends.
Not really. He has like two. A lot of things have happened.